Hello, everyone, and welcome back towards our next session during Automation Days Asia 2023. I'm super excited to introduce a long-term presenter and early supporter of Automation Days Asia, and I'm happy to have back Vipul Tiwari again, and who is going to be presenting around citizen development programs. Vipul is a solution architect at the Center of Excellence at AWS and an accomplished professional and dynamic leader who embarked on his career in site engineering with a telecom giant 7 years ago. Little did he know that his journey would lead him to become a prominent developer and passionate advocate for citizen development programs. Currently thriving at Amazon, Vipul has won numerous hackathons and earned prestigious recognitions, including being a Blue Prism MVP for 4 consecutive years. He has a wealth of certifications and accolades to his name, and I would say that he's a leading voice within the automation industry. I've been in Vipul sessions the times before, and I can ensure you that you're in for a very interactive and very thought-provoking session. So Vipul, it's my great pleasure to welcome you back towards Automation Days. The floor is all yours.
Thank you so much, Jen, and hello everyone. Thanks for the warm welcome. And yeah, I'm really excited to be here. Last time it was a really engaging session, and I'm hoping the same from this. We'll start talking about citizen development, the pros and cons of it, and we will be talking about few more related agenda like shadow IT and center of excellence and why they are important, how they can really make a difference in an organization. So bear with me, and I'm sure that by the end of this session, you will take something out. You will learn something new from here. So, without wasting any time, let me go to the next slide. And my name is Vipul. I'm a solution architect in Amazon. It's been amazing 3 years in Amazon. It's always a day one in Amazon, and then my day-to-day work is to look at processes, try to simplify. Can you? Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I think you're back. Your connection dropped for 1 second, Vipul, but you're back already.
Oh my, I don't know what just happened. Network latest. Okay. So where I was, it's my day-to-day work is to look at processes, try to simplify and optimize them, and it's been a really amazing and roller coaster ride with Amazon. It's overall eight plus years of experience, right? And I was not a professional developer or architect before. I started my job. I started my career with a site engineering team, a telecom giant, and from there, learning from others. Being in some of the hackathons, participating in some of them, winning few of them, and then now judging few of them. The journey has been a roller coaster ride for me. And well, few of other certifications. I'm Blue Prism's MVP, advocate to few CTOs, and then few certifications on my name are there. So that's all about me. And let me go through the next slide. And before jumping into citizen development and how it can really change or be a thing to change in an organization, I would like to talk about shadow IT. Okay. For those who don't know about shadow IT is the practice of business professionals trying to develop using technology systems without involvement of corporate IT. Now, this is the boring definition. Let me give you an example of this. Okay, so I was talking with one of the business teams. I think a week back, and they were explaining me one of the business processes. And then while documenting that for simplification or optimization, I just saw one thing there, which is they were creating macros. Okay, so this business person who is an analyst and FinOps created a macro on its own, which is good, which is amazing, but there are few cons to it, and what I see was that code is not secure. Okay, that code is doing what he wants it to do. Okay, he's solving his issue of creating drafts for him in the mailboxes while extracting all the data from different systems, and it's creating all the drafts so that he can just click on send and it flies out to the customer. That was his macro. But then if you see the other side of it, it's not secure. anything happens, there can be wrong emails going out to the customer, a big customer obsession gone there. Okay. And then there is nobody has reviewed his code. No, from the privacy, security, SDs, technology, it's just his code which he is using, and that's what a shadow IT is. People like him, employees like him are shadow IT. Now now what are the pros and cons? Are they really bad for an organization or a team? Are they or are they can they be the cherry of this for the organization and team? We will talk about it in the next slides, but then before that, I quickly want to start with a quick poll around shadow IT. Then do you want can you help me with that?
And the question is, do you believe shadow IT poses a significant security threat risk in today's digital landscape? And you can see the options below, and people are voting already. Good. Give it a few more seconds. And let me close the poll and show the results. Good. So Vipul, 58% says yes, it's a major concern. So answer 1. 37% says somewhat but manageable, and only 5% said not sure.
Awesome. It's and trust me when I say this, I do agree that it's a major concern. And by that, let's quickly talk about the risk and challenges involved with shadows IT. So one of the biggest challenge which I just talked about with shadow IT is the security challenge. Okay. Now security for finance and banking organization is big, but then it's important for all the organization, no matter what their bread and butter is. But that security puts them at a risk because that has not the code, the application or the project which they have developed is not reviewed. That's the biggest challenge which I see uh, when it is created by a shadow IT. But then there are numerous other cons there. One few of them is, well, we are creating numerous applications. Okay. So think about when the last process which I talked, I believe in example. So the last example which I talked, where the person wanted to send emails out to customers, and he is creating drafts with a macro. He created one application for it. Let's call that macro application. So he created one application to create those drafts, and then he's reviewing it. But then when we found when we talked in the tech world, we found out that there are many other systems which are already doing that in the organization. So you see, to solve one thing, we again created a one more applications, and more applications like that creates more data stores, creates and why it is important to have less data store. Think about from a security perspective, that data can be a restricted data that can be a red data, and you are storing that data in any database, any system, which is wrong. You're storing someone's email, the customer emails, the vendor emails, the account number, the invoice number on your network path, or on your local path, which is a great privacy risk. So that is one of other challenges which you see. Other things is that it's complex. You can't monitor that. No one is monitoring that, how that system is getting used. No one knows about it. And the efforts which are spent on that particular application by a shadow IT person can be used in numerous ways to help the business, to help the technology teams, to help the business. And that is the risk and challenges involved with shadow IT. Now these are some of the cons, but then let's talk about how the shadow IT can be turned into a cherry, how the shadow IT can be used for a better good. And this is where a citizen development comes into picture. So let me just throw some light on what a citizen development is. So a citizen developer means enable those business users, we call them citizen developers, to leverage the technology to create those application development. Okay. Now when I say technology, I again believe in baby steps. Okay, so a business user writing 1,000 lines of code. Okay, think about it. He is not trained. He is starting. He wants to solve his problem as quickly as he can, and he wants it to be quickly done. But then he's writing 1,000 lines of code, which is not secure, which is not privacy certified, which is not approved by any SDE, any tech team, any other peer reviews and stuff is bad. Okay, so as in for baby steps, they can always start with no code and low code platforms. Okay, and that is what a citizen developer is. A citizen developer are those business people who leverage these no code and low code platforms to to develop and to build their manage and to build and manage their applications for a greater agility, speed, and operational efficiency. Okay, now I will talk about why this citizen development is important, and what are, again, there are some pros and cons of it, and we will try to think about how we can change this shadow IT to a citizen development world, and how to put the governance around the boundaries. But before that, I have a quick question for you. So Jen, can you help me with the next poll? Thank you.
Live, and the second poll's question is, to what extent do you believe citizen development positively impacts organizational agility and innovation? And you can give your answers right now. Good, few more seconds. Good, I'm gonna close it right now. Good, and the results should be projected on the screen right now. So Vipul, 53%, so a little over half answered answer one, highly beneficial key driver of innovation. Then the second options were mixed between answer 2 and 3, moderately beneficial but with some challenges, 29%, option 3, 12%, and answer 4, limited benefits, only 6%.
Amazing. That's an amazing result, and I love the fact that 53% thinks that it's highly beneficial and a key driver of innovation. And let me throw some light on how. Okay, so let's talk about some pros and cons on citizen development. Now, how I see this citizen development is as an indirect resource to the tech team. Okay, think about it. You have, and if you are a tech person, you might echo that you have thousands of business processes to be automated, or to be developed, or to be added to application, and then your backlog should be maniac. But then, and for that, you need a lot of more technical people, a lot of more hiring, and you might be engaged in those discussions with your director, your managers, that, hey man, give us few more resources. And we all have faced that, yeah, right, somewhere here or there. And that's where I love the citizen development part, because those are indirect resources. Okay, now what I mean by indirect resources, they will take the baby part of the course. Okay, they give you those draft versions, they give you those, they are already the business experts. Think about it, like from an automation perspective. If I have to automate any application by taking it from a business, the first part which I do is to learn the process, right? I have to document it. I have to talk with SMEs in n number of calls. I should be having the same understanding as of SME, right? And that takes a lot of time, right? And then I start developing from in an agile way or water flow, but then still something here or there is left, and that's why we end up in doing enhancements and defects, right? But think about this part where the business person, where the business is developing their own tool. Now, do they are already doing that from years, like, right? They are already doing the same process from years, so they are already trained in the business world. Now, what we do is we make them understand how to automate their own stuff, how to use that low code program, low code application, how to create a draft version of it, and we take it from there. That's the biggest cherry. It's an indirect resource. It's an indirect hire for your tech team. Okay, There's a cost savings again, because you don't have to put that much money in hiring someone. You don't have to, plan the resourcing. You don't have to do all that, because it's already there. You just have to train the person, and that's pretty much it. And that boosts the productivity, because if you want one, you want 100, you can have those business people, and just put those guards there, and they create something for you, and you take it from ground to cloud. And these are few of the pros of a citizen development. But then there is always a other side, right? So the other side to it is security. Again, I believe security is important, privacy is important. You can't just create anything, because one small mistake can be a big threat, to the organization. Now, the security comes into picture when the business starts creating their own processes by using technology, without consulting with IT. If they are creating their own products, own application, that's a big security for us. Second is governance challenges. Now think about many teams following the framework, following the governance, creating those best applications, the shiny application. But then there is someone who is just writing 10 lines of code or 100 lines of code without any governance and framework, and it's there in the production. That's a big con, right? And then this low code and no code platforms, they are easy. That's how people say it. They are easy, but then trust me when I say it. Uh it's it still requires a design thinking, or a good mindset. You just can't create anything because it's working. Not every working thing is good for that team or the project, right? So those are few of the cons. Okay, those are few of the cons for a citizen development. And again, how to address them, how to make sure that those particular demerits are solved. And that's where center of excellence comes into picture. Okay, now what is a center of excellence? And we will try to join all these concepts of center of excellence, shadow IT, and citizen development in a while. But then let's talk about why center of excellence. So center of excellence is an entity who is responsible for growth of the no code and low code platforms in an organization, to make sure that whatever is going from a citizen development perspective into production is highly secured, is privacy reviewed, it's is the best design, and then it's a win-win situation for everyone. That's what a center of excellence is. Now there are many benefits of having a center of excellence team. But before that, I have a quick question for you before I talk about the effectiveness of a center of excellence. And one last time, Jen, can you start the poll?
Of course. And here is the third question, or the third poll, I should say. And you should see it in the screen right now. How effective do you think a center of excellence is in driving digital transformation within an organization? Seconds. Good. I'm going to close the poll right now. And there you go, Vipul. 88% says very effective, crucial for transformation, and 13% says somewhat effective with room for improvement.
I mean, I love the audience. Thank you, Jen. Indeed, it's very effective, and it's a crucial catalyst for transformation, right? And I do somewhere agree that there is a room for improvement, right? But then let's quickly talk about the role of a COE. Okay, how COE makes a difference. Again, we already talked. Again, what is a center of excellence? They are that's the team who's responsible for maintaining the growth and nurturing, or being the catalyst for the digital transformation, right? But then they that's not pretty much all. Okay. Now think about a automation or a process which is too technical, like a business. Not everything can be done by business. Who that particular processes or those critical stuff is solved by a center of excellence. Okay. They will take care of all the high priority or the critical red cases, and they take care of all that stuff. Think about those processes which is handled by citizen developer, but then they are stuck somewhere. Or let's say they want some integration with some other applications. Maybe they want to host it on a AWS system. Maybe they want to call some APIs, but then now they are touching the coding world, right, from a low code world. That's where center of excellence comes into picture. They make sure that those parts, those hindrance where business people are facing challenges, they take care of it. Think about those scenarios where I talked about security, privacy, take following the best practices, making queues, monitoring the processes, doing it a good production onboarding, user acceptance testing, and a proper UAT and unit testing and stuff like that. Center of excellence take care of it. Okay. So an entity who is responsible for making sure that when a code is developed, it goes from ground to cloud, is center of excellence. Okay. Apart from managing the most critical business processes, they also make sure that they train business people. They put proper frameworks for them. When they get the code, they beautify it. They make sure that the code is following the best practices, and they move it to production. They hold the security aspect of it. They create the governance around it, and those are few of the pillars which a role of CEO is very important, right? And then their capabilities, again, they make sure the governance, right? They from a monitoring level, like from a citizen developer, he or she can build the code, can put it to production, but then it's well, they can always monitor and keep on enhancing and working on defects. I do know few citizen developers working with me who are still doing that because of their interest, but not all citizen developers want that. It's they want it for a learning. They want it to have that automation mindset, but then they don't want it for a day-to-day change, right? Or for a day-to-day work. That's where those codes to monitor, to put the governance, to make sure that everything from a enhancement defects and a change perspective, that is there. So that is one capability. Making sure that the nurture and growth is there, right? So to provide the best practices, the trainings, the boot camps, the uh, creating those wikis, having those in-person sessions, and creating those communities where people can do those Q&As and ask all that stuff. Center of excellence. Okay. Think about the support and operations. Now there are some there is a level to escalation in your team, right? You can't just wait there. You can't just wait there's a SLA of 2 hours and it goes to your director. You don't want to have that impression. Center of excellence comes into picture. Technical guidance, you are stuck somewhere, you don't know what to do, how to create those RPA to AI, to API integration. You don't know how to call the database. Center of excellence come into picture. You don't know the life cycle. You just created a code, you want to put it in production. That's not the life cycle. It goes through a perfect life cycle of developing it, and of analyzing it, developing it, documenting it, designing, peer reviews, security, privacy, unit testing, UAT, and then production, hypercare. And this is just few of it which I remember. But then to follow the complete life cycle, center of excellence comes into picture. And of course the production onboarding, the DevOps, and the AWS or Azure or the cloud environment. You always have to make sure that the design or the code which is there is the industry's top design. Whatever you are creating is, you think from you think by keeping yourself in business shoes, and think from their perspective. You don't automate something just for the sake of automation. You automate it because it is solving because it's really making a difference, and it's solving business needs, right? And those type of things, again, center of excellence comes into picture. Now it can always be a hand in hand, center of excellence with business, shadow IT, or citizen developer, potato. But then center of excellence, the main team, or the main party who's responsible for making sure that the code is up to a level, or the design is up to a level, up to a mark, uh, up to a mark when where it goes to production. They are responsible for it. Without wasting any further time, does it really change the game? Do you really want to spend that much of, like I've heard these questions many times, like, why should I spend that much of time, Vipul, in training citizen, in training the business people? Okay, why you want to train them? That's a lot of training capabilities, and lot of calls, workshops, boot camps, and blah 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 blah. Lot of hard work to do there, and then you have to make sure that it's up to the mark. Like, there will be still a time where you have to take that code and you have to work on that and put it to, again, change it from ground to cloud. Now of course there are these questions of, does it really making a difference? And yes, it's really making a difference. Okay, think about this. Again, as I said, the IT, there is a huge backlog with them. The tech is having a huge backlog with them, trust me when I say this, right? And 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 in my experience, I've seen everything is a priority. Okay, you talk with one director, it's a priority. You talk with another, it's a priority. Everything is a priority for a company. Now either you hire those 1,000 employees, those tech resources, put that much money on the table and get them. Yes, why not? But think from a company's perspective, which is not, which wants a win-win situation, which don't want to put that much money on the table, but then it also wants to clear the IT's backlog or the tech backlog and make sure that the business is feeling happy about whatever they are using, right? And that's where the citizen development is really a game changer, right? When it removes the frustration from the employers, because now, because this, they take things in their hand. Then they know that if I have a problem, I have the tools to solve the problem. And then there is someone who can make sure that whatever I'm doing is making sense. So the real frustration, where they are doing the monotonous job, where they are doing the same stuff again and again, that frustration is gone. The long waiting time, the queues, again, examples. I was there in one call, I think last week, and I heard someone saying that, someone from the business saying that it's the topmost priority. You want the VP's approval, we give it to you. You want the benefits, we give it to you. We want it to be done as soon as possible, Vipul. And when I checked the backlog, the prioritization changed to more like, I can give it to you in 2026. Trust me when I say this, 2026. Okay. So do they, when they are, do they really want, is that what they want to hear? Is what was that a good line for them? No. They it was not something which they were expecting, but then it is what it is. They are okay to give the benefits, they are okay to give the savings, the amount of hours to solve it, the approvals and everything which what we need. But then there are already those projects or those teams which have done that. So the prioritization failed, right? But then giving them that citizen developer, man, I can train one person in your team who will develop the same solution for you. And I will guide him, I will support him, my team will do that, and we will make sure that the code is perfect and up to the standard. That put a smile on his face, right? We have solved the opportunities. If it could have been the same manual process till 2026, we would have lost millions. And to be exact, 38.5 millions to be exact, right? That process, if we could have not solved, like 2 years of estimate of it was $38.5 million, right? That is the collections efficiency. But think from a manual efforts of 90 people who are working on the same process. So a big savings. And we have solved, we just have solved that by just putting a citizen development, because we can't afford to prioritize it, right? And we don't have that much bandwidth, and we don't have that much cost to bring one more tech in the team, right? So those cost reduction opportunities is solved. We are meeting the targets. We are making the business happy. And that's where this is really a game changer. Now think about this. Is every person a good citizen developer? No, a big no. Not every person can be a good citizen developer. There's always uh, the the one thing which I have seen a lot is they start the program, they be a part of it, but then leave in between. And I was thinking a year back, why it is happening. I start from 8 citizen developers, and by the end they are just 3, they are just 4. Where are the others? And because of their backlog, it's because of their commitments, it's because it was too too shiny in the start, but when it's a month or so, they are like, nah, it's not something which we want. So not every person can be a citizen developer. It will be a waste of time. So you want to understand what a right citizen developer will be. So they should, again, they should not be the best RPA developers or the best coders in the world, but they should understand what a variable is. They should understand what an argument is, what a if loop is, what a switch is, the basics of the coding. They should understand that, right? They should have that thinking process and problem solving skills. Like designing is one of the, and I talk about it a lot, the designing is one of the most important step in all the stage gates. Okay, it's not the development. You should put 80% of the time in designing and 20% of the time in development. And you might think that it doesn't make sense, but it will. Trust me, because if a wrong design and a quick development will turn into defects enhancements. So that's why a better design. So they should have that problem solving thinking to create that. Okay, they should be open to learning. Okay, they should be open. It can be a chance. And I've seen this in one of the calls, like the citizen developer, he was doing this RPA stuff, and then we thought about more like, and he came to me and he was more like, Vipul, I don't think RPA is the solution. I think Alteryx is the solution. And when I looked at the design, I agreed. So that learning, that's problem solving skill, right? That is very important in a citizen developer. Not the best, but at least they should know the basics. Now, of course, the domain knowledge, the biggest cherry. If they understand the business process, what they are doing, why they are doing, that really makes a difference. And then those communication skills, like you really want to have that they have to engage with security privacy teams, and they for the peer reviews and stuff like that. So their communication skills, they are open to spending few more hours creating those one pagers designs, going on those calls and talking about this and that, and then changing the designs and exploring technologies and stuff like that. Those are few of the special characteristics of a citizen developers. Again, they don't have to be the best developer in the world, but they should be open to be the best developer, or they should be open to the learning. And that's what I think is a really game changer. Now, the approach, right? The approach. Now, do you want to have thousands of citizen developers and just wait for them to create something for you, and you just take out one process and put it in production? No, that's a bad idea. They will create something which will put you on risk, right? So baby steps. Again, the best approach is to first find the right people. Okay, the right processes, then the right people to do those processes. They have the right mindset. Do some training, have some boot camps, have some talks with them, the workshops and stuff. See how they like. The first thing which I always do is give them some videos and tell them, guys, go through this automation video and tell me if this makes sense. And if they still come to me and say, nah, I don't understand the hell, Vipul, what is written there, then no, it doesn't even make sense. So you first want to find the right people. Okay, then you have to empower people. Okay, you just can't leave them with some training videos and it's like, just go through them and create something for me. No, you have to go on those calls, give them some workshops, do the proper training, and then always have that oversight as what they are doing. Try always making sure you are building the guidelines, the frameworks, the governance there. And then they know that there always is someone who is making sure that this is moving from ground to cloud. That's the perfect citizen development approach. Okay, you help them with the design, you help them with the development. Whenever they have a question, they are not struggling for that. Like, to my citizen developers, my the only say is that, guys, if it's taking more than a day, just leave it, come to me, and let's talk about it. So you have they have those trustworthy mentors, they have those people, and that's the best model, the best approach which someone can use. Now, how much percentage, like is it everything by the IT? Is it everything by the business? That's one of the questions, right, which I have seen, mostly teams asking. To be honest, there is there is no right answer to it. And apologies for this, but then exactly, there is no, according to my experience, there is no idea, there is no right answer of it. I It's not 50-50%, no, it's not 17-50%, but then I've seen a balance of 21%, right, in my experience. If 20% efforts from a business end is there, and then the mostly is taken care by IT. Why I say 21% only by business? Because because think about those part where you have to design, where you have to go to security calls, privacy calls. You have to beautify, put a framework on top of it, do the production onboarding. So main part stays there, main cherry stays there. So a 21%, because not to forget, they still have their own business work or the own projects which they have to handle. They are doing this in addition. If they are completely free, like this 21% can change other way around, right? It can move to 21% to IT. But my experience says that those citizen developers, they still have to manage their business responsibilities with managing IT, with managing the automation, the RPA or the IT stuff, being a citizen developer. So a 21% balance, I think that's a good balance between the IT and the citizen developer, or the tech and the citizen developers. Of course, the nurture and grow, right? You always have to make sure that there are training resources. Like, one thing which I always work on is giving the best material to them, right? If I see a blog, if I see a wiki, if I see a good YouTube videos, like there is a good community I'm a part of. If I see any experts who are giving those videos, those learning materials, I make it available for the citizen developer. That is a very important part of the growth. The tracks, you don't want to give them some advanced materials and they look at it and they go crazy, like, I can't do it. You don't want to do that. You have to take baby steps. Again, you have to make that 3 months of a journey for them. I don't know, maybe 3 weeks of a journey, but you have to create that journey for them. Like, you start with this basics, you go through this advanced, and then you go to this experts level, and you have to do all that. You have to make sure that there is a mentor, right? There are office hours, there are mentors, there is a go-to person, there are tickets where they can reach us to, and there are more learning materials for them. And that's where it builds a confidence in them that we can do this, right? It's a person, a citizen lover will like think from their mind perspective. Like, they don't only want to build the first project. That's what I have seen. For me, what I've seen is they never got a chance, and they want to see the tech world, and if it's good, they will like to continue it, right? So you always want to give them that cherry, right? That learning and that knowledge and that training and support is really, really important. That's what I've seen. Now few of the lessons learned, right? Like, let me share with you what I have learned. And, like, there are many, to be honest, but then the three top ones which I've seen, and I will talk about, and excuse the numbering, but I will talk about the the one which I pretty much hear every week, to be honest with you. That is the fear of job displacement, right? What will happen if I so think about a citizen developer. He's more like, I'm just automating my own process, people. I'm just trying to replace my own job from a bot. What will happen? And you have to make sure that fear is not there. You have to address those fears. You have to make sure that you teach them well, you mentor them well, that it's not a change of a it's a change of a process, right? It's not a replacement. Okay, it's how we are doing the change management, is how we are taking this code from this manual process to a new manual process, from as is to future state. But it's not a replacement, it's to help you guys. It's one more it's one more hand support for you, right? So that you just click it and you see the result. You just when you turn on your laptop, you just receive those emails, and that's that kind of fear. You have to address that, and that is one of the main challenges which I have seen, right? Few more wrong talks, and trust me, this can go really bad. um Always learning, always open to learning. That is one of the things which I have seen. Like I always try to learn more from the outside world, like looking at those wikis, those videos, those community stuff and other things. I always learn from them, but then I always believe that expertise of insiders is very important, because at the end of the day, it's your business strategy, it's your digital transformation, and you have to learn from others. Like there are other RPA teams, there are other digital transformation teams, coding teams, fintech teams, and others. We go to them and we make sure we learn from them, and we are leveraging as much as we can. Like think about this. I don't want to create an Azure solution when I know that the other team is supporting AWS. I will just like to go to the other team, learn about it, and take it from there. Or maybe I will like to use the reusable components, so they might have already automate one of the application, might to create one more. So it's always good to learn from the inside world. And one of the most important and the last which learning which I want to share is always try to understand the big picture, right? The big picture is very important, right? Now think about this. If why I say a big picture, you want to make sure that your digital transformation is aligned to the business strategy. Whatever you are developing is making sense. Like let's say you automated something, putting 3 months of efforts, and it is running in production for 1 or 2 weeks, and in next 2 weeks you see a technology team coming there and say, we did it, we changed the main application to do the same. It's a sad news. I have seen that it happened to me. Like you put that much of efforts, you do that much of hard works, and someone from the tech team, they come to you and say, guys, we did it. We don't even know why you did it. And that's where aligning your digital transformation with the main business strategy, like having a hand in hand, like talking with the tech teams. Guys, there is this item in your backlog. When you are planning to do it, and they say, we are planning to do it in by next 3 months, don't do it, leave it, take other process. They say, we are planning to do it next 2 years, so take it, you still have 2 years of benefits there. So make sure your broader business strategy is aligned. And those are, well, let's say few, but then top three lessons which I have learned during this maniac journey of mine. And then of course, you should always keep these things in your mind. Like it's not about just citizen developers, it's a win-win situation from both ends. So if you want to scale faster, make sure you are giving the proper trainings. If you want to reduce cost, make sure that you are doing the right choice of decisions, and 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 things like that. Like one of the things which I will tell you. So in a process, you don't always want to go with a time savings. I was always like, well, I'm saving 1,000 hours in a year, or 7,000 hours a year, you know and that was my old mindset. But now I don't even talk about that. No, 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 there are additional benefits. Now I talk about, hey, there is 5 million benefits, or there is 1,000 billion benefits there. Are we doing the sampling now, and is the bot never sleeps, is the code doing 100% of the work now? This is more of a benefit. Like in next 6 months, you want 5 more resources. I'm giving you a bot which is working 24 hours, and I'm solving that 5 resources or 5 new resources challenge for you. Try to understand those benefits as from a stakeholder perspective, and you those meaningful goals can really change your learning and journey. Let's talk about some myths and facts. Myths, they call like citizen development is for the experts. I don't think so. Citizen developer is for those people who have the right mindset. I'm a non-tech. I come from a telecom background. I have not started anything. I was not the best developer, right? But it was the mindset which changed everything. If I can do that, anyone can do that. Citizen developer is not for IT experts. It's for everyone with the right mindset, period. Is citizen development a replacement for IT? Not at all. Come on. I mean, it's a hand in hand. It's giving them a chance. It's asking for a help. It's giving the opportunities to the people. Is that how I see it? Citizen developer lacks security and governance. Yes and a no. Of course, in the start they don't know what it is, but then you are the COE, or as a mentor, you are responsible to take it to cloud. So they will follow what you train them, but it's they lack it. Yes, but then is it not even there? No, right? And do they create spoiled apps? No, not at all. I mean at the end, as I said, they create a baby draft version for you, and you take it from ground to cloud. That's how I see it. There are few more benefits and others, but then I will like to I will quickly talk about it, because I see Jen, and I'm too
You're
sure that
completely
that
correct.
that
So I'm gonna just give you a quick reminder to move towards a wrap up, so we also can have a few questions, because a lot of people have been reacting to your presentation.
Amazing, amazing. And I will quickly talk about the five things to empower. Again, always keep your strategy in your mind. Make sure you understand the rules, the strategy, the bigger picture. Choose the right tools. Okay. Don't take quick decisions. Choose the right tools, train people in the right direction. Okay. And always prioritize security, guys. One wrong step, I have seen teams getting, you know so make sure it's the right team, and those are the next step, to be honest. Understand the right difference. Make sure that you choose the right people. Make sure you are doing proper mentoring, and trust me, things will change from ground to cloud. So that's pretty much it. I hope you learn something from here and there. And if you want to know more, if you have any questions, I'm always there. Feel free to talk with me. Feel free to drop a message and say, yeah, hi, thank you so much.
Thanks, Vipul. As always, your presentations are very informative, a lot of new topics. I really like citizen developer programs, because it's an excellent topic that I think is on the agenda at many organizations. So once again, you're really spot on. I received throughout your presentation over half a dozen questions. So I'm going to try to moderate a few of them real quick, because we do need to move towards the next speakers who are already waiting. So let me start with a question that I thought was very interesting, and which was also greatly upvoted, which is from T.S. Suchan Chen, and says, I'd like the citizen development program. It's a way to democratize RPA regardless of any technology. But how do you ensure every citizen developer is really abiding by the governance policy of this RPA Center of Excellence? How do you manage that?
The answer is a mentor, to be honest with you. I call it a buddy system or a mentor program. They have those people who make them understand what's the real governance, and the framework which they have to follow. There are those wikis. There are those go-to material, those calls, those boot camps, those programs which I do internally to make sure they are aligned and they understand the frameworks and governance policies of a COE. But then yeah, it's always challenging, but then you have to.
Okay.
That's the only route.
Good. Then the second question is from Sahil, who was also upvoted quite a bit, that says, what about a training effort? Even though there is no hiring test, but there is definitely a higher effort in training a non-technical person than a tech person. Any thoughts on this?
Amazing. I love this question, and I was asking this question to my boss. I think few quarters back, and I was like, I put a lot of time when I go on those calls and give those trainings to them, and the answer was automated. Make it a IPO. We call it internal process optimization. We created those broadcast link, those videos, those training sessions, and now there are 5 or 4 people training material inside created. So they just go through it, and they understand the baby steps. If they have any questions, they have a go-to mentor, go-to person, and this is what we have done to save that time of training efforts and to hire those people. The training material, we created those training material by putting more time.
Thanks, people, for that. Now, one more question, just to kind of close the session. I think this is also a very interesting one. With all the concerns that you highlighted for any automation which involves API integration, Do you think we can encourage citizen developers to handle by themselves or strictly by the Center of Excellence?
That's again a very good question. So it depends on the use case and the person, to be honest with you. Okay, I have seen those citizen developers who who want to be a real citizen developer. You know what I mean? They want to learn more. They have stopped me and said, you know, Vipul, I don't want your help right now. I want to learn more. I want to see the Lambda, the AWS stuff, and I want to try and do it on my own. And they did it. They did it. And I don't and I love that. There were few citizen developers that were like, we can't do it, help us.
Yeah.
And we did it for them, you know. So it depends on the use case and the people, but then I keep it an open choice for them. I don't want to make their life hell, because I understand that they have their business priorities and stuff. So if they want to do it, I give them an open option. If they feel like, nah, it's not worth it, I do it for
Yeah, I
them.
think that's a
So
very
that's
good
my
point that
answer.
you're making, because also how I experience it is some people are more comfortable with going into the technology stuff and asking for help, and others are not. And I think
Yep.
that's, as you rightfully mentioned, also for a very large part, a personal choice. Good. I see I still have 1 minute, I think this question is so interesting that I'm going to do it also as well. Just came in. What role does mentorship and knowledge transfer play in the success of citizen developers? And can organizations facilitate mentorship programs to support growth and learning of those individuals?
That's again an amazing question. I think this is an amazing audience.
That's what we try every
So
year.
that is you are doing amazing, Jen, and I'm really excited for the next session, Eric. But then this is very important. That plays the the it plays a very important role, trust me when I say this, because if they are creating if they are creating a garbage, you have to rework. Let's say they created something, you are again reworking. That's a waste of time. I mean, you know, why don't we put that much time and train them properly, train them and use the right activities. Like, they have created some solution with old activities,
Yeah.
we don't even support that version. That's a time waste, you know. So it's very important now when it comes to organization facilitating mentorship programs. Like, it's a challenge which I've even seen with automation. It is a challenge which I've seen with citizen development program, the buddy system, and all the other programs which are there. But you need a POC, and you need to create that trust. That's what I believe. You do those POC, you show them those benefits, you create those one pagers, show them the big picture. I don't see any reason why a leader will say no.
Nice.
So that's
Thank you
my
so
answer.
much. With that, people, I do think we really need to bring it towards an end. Unfortunately, I could listen to many more hours of you presenting. Thanks for being back at Automation Days. As you know, I always love your presentations. So with this also, again, extension for an invite for next year as well. Hope to see you back because, yeah, you always have a lot of very, very interesting things to share, which also always consistently shows in your ratings. So we're super happy to have you as a part of our program.
Love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. And please join the next sessions. It's Eric. I'm joining there. He's
Good.
amazing. So
Thanks.
you so much.
Not that we have any preference at Automation Days, because we have two great speakers waiting for the next hour, which will start in 7 minutes. And we have two different types of sessions coming up. In my track number 1, we are going to be listening to Animesh Rastogi, who is a technical account manager at Sears.Inc. And he is going to talk about how you write Kubernetes controllers with Golang. So that's promising to be a very, very interesting session. On the other track, we also have one of our close friends of Automation Days, Eric Nguyen, who is an ambassador at the Service Automation Framework Alliance. And he is going to be talking about crafting a unified roadmap, integrating data analytics, enterprise automation, and AI. So difficult choice to be making again in the next few minutes, and we look forward to seeing you back in 6 minutes from now. Thanks again, people, for your amazing presentation.